Well, hello again, and it's time for another Al's Guitars short take. Tonight, we're going to look at the Harmony H-173. It's a classical guitar from 1965. Was sold not so much as classical, but as a folk unit. Nicely constructed guitar. And I know as I say that, there are people who are snickering, saying, well, it's a Harmony, so it's not a nicely constructed guitar. And it is certainly a hastily constructed guitar. But this is one of the better models of Harmony that I've come across. It has a solid spruce top, has a rosewood bridge, has a hardwood back and side stained red, which I strongly suspect is birch. It has a mahogany neck, and it has an ebonized fretboard. That's right, ebonized. That's where you take black stain and you take a maple fretboard and make it black. However, what's wrong with maple? Fender Stratocaster seems to do just fine with maple. So it's not a badly made guitar. Binding only on the front, nothing on the back. It's full size. It's about a 4-inch depth, 14.5 inches wide. It is, for smaller hands, pretty comfortable. This is a 25.25 inch scale. So it's not quite full scale for what most people would expect. But the neck is very roomy. It's not overly classical-like. And a lot of guitars I've been showing you, I've said that about, that the neck is not a club. And trust me, you'll see somewhere the neck is a club. But this is a truly round neck. I mean, this neck doesn't have hardly any relief on the back side at all. It's almost like a half-round molding you put up in your house. But it is not really that bad. Bar chords are a little more challenging because you don't have any kind of a flat to grab to. But I'm telling you, this thing plays very easily. It was very easy to achieve a 3mm action at the 12th fret. And it just plays itself. I mean, now I'll screw up just to prove that wrong. But if you're into folk music or bluegrass, what's wrong with that? I mean, if you're a jazz player, it's got a nice, soft, mellow tone for that kind of music. It's really quite nice. The frets are a standard gauge wire, not overly cheesy like the brass ones are that they used on these sometimes. Overall, I'm very impressed with what this is. Now let's get it on the scale, and then let's do a sound pressure test on it. Okay, so what's your guess for the weigh-in on this item? I'm thinking it feels pretty light to me. And that is confirmed with 3 pounds, 3.4 ounces, which, if I'm not mistaken, may be the lightest guitar that we've weighed yet. You know what you should do is go back and watch all the other videos and then put in the comments if it was the lightest. Time to do a quick sound pressure reading. Well, I'm sure you all saw that it was 87 decibels at the top of the meter. Now, 87 decibels is going to put that right up here on the old decipole, right below the C6. Not bad. It is a full-size body, so it's got some, enough to beat out the G10 Goya. But what's wrong with that as far as having some volume to the thing? It's, as you saw on the scale, it's a very lightly constructed guitar, which is unique because when you look in it, the braces are just tree trunks. I mean, it's got typical Harmony, big, braces across the thing. But the wood has been thinned out quite a bit, so it's definitely neck heavy too compared to the body. So it's quite a thin, resonant, body to it. Anyway, let's hear it again. Okay, you've heard it, we've talked about it, we've described it, you know what it's made out of, you know when it was made. Let's add, in our conclusion today about this instrument, let's add a little bit about vintage guitars. Now, I've collected vintage guitars for quite some time, and I've always run across that collector who isn't going to like Harmony very much. He's that guy who says, oh, these aren't real vintage guitars. Vintage guitars are what you say they are, not what other people say they are. Now, we're just talking me and you here. Don't let anyone talk you out of what you enjoy. These guitars are, while not highly sought after, there are so many people who have them as part of their collection and they never let them go. And that's because this guitar and the United States, they are synonymous. This guitar was given to so many kids for Christmas. I mean, America grew up with these guitars. And they do have kind of a homey feel to them when you're holding them. They're quite pleasant, some of them. They're a good first step into the vintage guitar disease. If you're going to go right after Guilds and Gibsons and old Epiphones and old Martins, more power to you. They're wonderful, wonderfully made, fantastic instruments. But I know so many people who have all those wonderful instruments, and they would not even think of selling usually their first or second one, which was a Harmony. They're well-liked. They're beloved by the people who have them. So don't discount them, but also don't pay too much for them. I advise you go on, go on Feebay and go on Craigslist and go on Facebook Marketplace, maybe Reverb. Look around and see what a model that you're looking for, what's a good price for it in good condition. Remember, if you make a mistake, you can always resell a vintage guitar. Their values hold very well. It isn't that big a deal. So if you're looking to, dip your toe in the water, a Harmony might be the thing for you. Let me know in the comments, first off, if you would like to see a full review of this or any other Harmonies, because I have access to a couple of them. And also, what a great time to push subscribe if you're enjoying this content. I mean, I called YouTube, and boy, they've got terrible customer service, just terrible. I said, how many subscriptions can I just give away? And they hang up on you. It's terrible customer service. This is what it's come down to. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment, definitely give me some feedback on what you think of it. And I thank you very much for tuning in tonight, and look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.